Aquarius, hi, welcome. It's Erin Scott here with the monthly Alchemy Den, and we're going to do a little art channeling today, as we've been doing since the beginning of the year. And actually that I did a couple years ago, but then I kind of did a break for a while, did some other stuff. So what we're doing is we're tapping into the natural growth arc, the egoic growth arc for the Aquarian ego over the course of this very powerful Aries new moon cycle, mid-April 2018 to mid-May 2018. Sun and moon were conjunct Uranus. And as you know, Uranus is about to move into Taurus in mid-May. And there's other activations, Chiron, Saturn, Pluto, all making movements. So I encourage you to look at my video on my channel about the catalyzing shifts that are taking place over the course of this time frame and activating essentially a new narrative for us for the next 7-8 years. So Aquarius, let's identify you here. Okay. I have some gouache paint down here, and I also have some charcoal pencils. So and I actually want to start with charcoal for you, which I haven't done with any of the other signs. Oops. So those of you who have tuned in before since the beginning of the year, you can see I'm using a different paper. It's a little bit more cost effective than the other stuff I was using, but I'll use different things, I think, every month. So Aquarius, I'm just going to tap in for a little bit. It's I usually talk during it as well, but let me tap in for a little bit here, and then we'll see what comes through, and then we'll talk about all the symbols and the colors, the forms. What I'm doing is I'm tapping into what pictures, what stories, what narratives, what forms, movements, colors, numbers, qualities want to come through. Aquarius, what I would say, what I've been telling the other signs and what I talked about a little bit in that video, the catalyzing shifts video, is that the energies are intense. I mean, as you probably well know, and there's a lot of Mars activations in the field. The Mars energy is really, really activated right now for a variety of reasons. So if you find that your energy system, your body, your physical body is you know, contending with different pains, aches, migraines, whatever. There's reasons for it, and the energies are shifting, and you want to clean your body accordingly, keep it, attend to it, love your body, attend to your body, because indeed, we need to almost catch up. The body system has to catch up with everything that's going on. And it is being rebuilt, essentially. I mean, physically, energetically, narrative-wise, everything's getting recalibrated, rebuilt. from the inside out. And it is intense. It's intense. So guys, interesting. You know, this is becoming something that I didn't anticipate, but I'm seeing what it is now. This is very interesting. Oh. Make sure you can see everything. Okay, yeah. Aquarius, one thing that I will say is that this form here, which we'll talk about, but there's a similar motion and movement and direction to Capricorn. And what I will say for you, if you're an Aquarius with a strong Capricorn energy set, you want to watch both videos, because I think that there's probably a connection here between the two. And there's a lot of Saturnian energy here, and Saturn is your original ruler, and Saturn is Capricorn's ruler, and it's moving through Capricorn. So I think that Saturn for you actually, and I'm actually going to do this in pink. I think that Saturn is a narrative that's activated for a lot of Aquarians this month, meaning constraints, focusing, manifesting. There's something about either feeling limits or ultimate self-discipline in order to get things done. And it's probably a little bit of both. So it's probably externalized pressure and there's a push to get things done. Let's talk about this that's coming through here. Ultimately, what this has become for me is and I don't know what they're called, but it's an oil extractor. It's whatever that machine is that pumps oil out of the ground. But the interesting thing is that this unit here, kind of the head of the unit, because it actually looks phallic as well, you know. But there's this kind of now it's black, right? This wanted to come. None of the other signs. You are the 10th sign that I'm recording for. Is that true? No, you're the 11th sign that I'm recording for. You're the first one that I used charcoal first. Okay. Some of them I didn't use charcoal at all. Sometimes charcoal came out as the image came through in paint. You're the first one that wanted to be identified strongly, boldly. And what I get with this unit here, which is phallic in its representation, it's also black, and it's also serious, you know, that there's like this serious kind of energy to this, like I'm doing it. And it's almost a bit aggressive, you know, because it's very dominating. That's how it feels. And especially because again, for me, this is talking about this oil extraction. Now, those of you resonant understand that fossil fuel extraction now in 2018 is illogical. You know, we are well past the time for green, clean energy to be our energy sources, right? So this is antiquated. It's dirty. It's literally black oil. Talk about antiquated. And we're talking about fossil fuels. So to extract fossil out of the earth is antiquated. Now, what I want to say about this is that I feel like either you're experiencing a big dominant energy trying to extract your joy, your will, your identity almost, really, okay? In fact, I think actually that's the way it is maybe for a lot of you. I was going to say this might be a lot of you in that you're kind of in a determined, resolute way going after getting joy that you might think is very contained, and almost unattainable. But I actually think for a lot of you out there, you might be experiencing in your field, because what we're doing is we're picking up on what activations might happen this month to catalyze the growth that's part of your natural growth arc. And the natural growth arc for you might be to identify how you are boundaried and to identify how there is, let's say, vampiric individuals, circumstances in your reality that are drawing upon your energy that is no longer logical, that is antiquated. Because again, we're talking about this antiquated model of energy for the planet, right? It's antiquated, it's dirty, and it's fossilized. So it's antiquated. And what I get is that some of you might be still enmeshed in a system in your life, in your reality, that is very Saturnian. It's very linear. It's by the book. You're working for the corporate, company, the corporation, or the big company that is about the hierarchy and the boss and making the money, whatever it is, whatever the story is. But there's this Saturnian energy that you might be experiencing, because I think this is you, okay, that maybe feel contained in your own joy, in your own, it's like it's a box of reality. The earth itself is limiting and constraining and constricting, and it doesn't allow me to be my uniqueness, because the modern ruler of you, of course, is Uranus. And Uranus was conjunct this Aries new moon, and it is about to move into Taurus, which is huge. So essentially your modern day ruler is making great moves. And the thing is, a lot of you might be no longer content with the patriarchy, with the dominant, boss, with the system, right? With the antiquated system that everybody just goes along with because that's just, that's just what everybody does. But the thing is, I think you're feeling it this month. During this cycle, I think you're going to be sensitive to the antiquated nature of this reality right now. Again, Uranus is so activated right now. The thing that I want to point out, Aquarius, is this. Because right next to your name came this orb, this yellow orb, free from any box. And this is, of course, square, which is talking about stability, structure, organization. So it's almost like your identity has been very organized by an antiquated system. And you might feel this vampiric energy sucking your juice. Sounds a little dramatic, but a lot of you might really be tuning into that reality. And if that's the case, this is very hopeful for me, because next to your name is, and by the way, I wrote this in black, your name. So if you look at the other readings, all the different colors were used for the different signs. Black wanted to come forward for you, which is representing that kind of Saturnian seriousness. There's a bit of a weight, bit of a heaviness to what's activated for you now. And I do feel that there's an overwhelm, a dominant energy that you're feeling. And again, that somebody bigger than you, that you perceive as bigger than you, or the system at play is sucking you dry in your contained reality. Here, though, next to you is an orb of yellow, circular, holistically oriented, free from any containment, free from any structure. This is just you. And it's you threading down. And by the way, it's kind of up in the sky here, right? Because we have the ground, we have the earth here, and we have this orb of self, of identity, of joy, of free will, of your personality. This is third chakra orientation, right next to your name with these two tendrils coming down to the earth. It's very alien. You are very alien. All of us are. But the Aquarius archetype ruled by Uranus is very, it's the extended soul. So we're talking about the alien aspect of you, Aquarius. And the thing is, let's say the earthbound reality of your life right now over the cycle is feeling into, it's aligning with your true self, your unique self, your holistic self, your free self. And that with these tendrils down to the earth, it's kind of interesting. I don't know really what that means, because there's two. It didn't come down with one, it came down with two. Let's see, I am going to pull a growth edge for you. This is the Carolyn Mace archetype cards. Let me pull a card. I want to tap a little bit more into this. Now, I have to tell you, this is going to be different for all of you, because this is your unique essence self. It's your soul print. It's your juice. It's your narrative. It's your specific story. For those of you that want to know your soul print identification, that's my work. And you can go to the alchemyofholism.com. But I kind of want to see if there's something that comes through that might be somewhat common amongst the Aquarians tuning in. So let's tap in. I kind of want to tap into what this is too, the two. It could literally be just talking about two legs, almost landing down on planet Earth sort of thing, or your connection, but it might be something else. Gambler. Okay, so I'm gonna read this. So gambler is coming up. So I'm asking for some clarification here. All right. So the gambler is about a willingness to follow your intuition even when others doubt you. The shadow attribute, so the lower frequency attribute of gambler, is relying on luck rather than hard work. See, there's something there for you too, because this to me is talking about the system of your reality. This oil extraction mechanism is, for me, talking about an antiquated structural norm that is part of your life, and you feel bound within it. And you're actually floating above the ground here. So it's, it's interesting. It's like you might self-identify. For a lot of you out there, for this growth for this month, there's some awarenesses coming to you. One of the awarenesses might be that you think of yourself as very unique and spiritual, right? Because here you are floating above the ground. You're in this box above the ground. You're contained, though, and you're organized. This is very structured. So you might feel, in fact, very unique, not of this earth, not of this earth. A lot of starseeds don't like to admit that they're encoded with earthbound realities, but they are. You are, everybody. I mean, I know you don't like to hear it. It's not that you're not a starseed. You are, but being here on Earth means that you are encoded with these particular rules of the space. So it could be that for a lot of you, you might feel you self-identify as very unique, but also very, very structured. So it's almost like you self-identify as the unique one, but you're living in a life that actually is not giving you the freedom of your full expression. This is your real expression here. This is some contained aspect of you, how your life, you've worked your uniqueness to fit into a life that's very structured and limiting. And it might be time to become the gambler and to trust your intuition even when others doubt you. So for those of you out there that are part of this collective narrative that so many people are still enmeshed in, which is the 9-to-5 gig, working for the corporate structures, the entities out there that are not wholly aligned with ethos, with natural ethos, much less anything else. It might be that you're really starting to remember your free state of being. This is a month when this aspect, the risky aspect of you, the willingness to be unbounded by the normal structures of this reality is calling. So let's tap in, Aquarius, as to what is a prime growth edge for a lot of you out there? What's a prime main growth edge for you this month, mid-April to mid-May 2018? Poet. So there's an artistic flowing aspect that wants to come through you. So this is interesting as well. So the shadow attribute, what wants to be evolved out of for the Aquarians out there, is turning a lyric gift into negativity or destruction, or for a destructive effect. So it's being negative and actually spewing negativity. What wants to be evolved, matured, and grown through you this month is expressing soul insights in symbolic language. So this is about seeing holistically, seeing the narrative flow in the source field that feeds all manifest form. There's always a story. There's always an immaterial story feeding manifest form. And the growth edge is to tap into your poet and your gambler and your truth of being, and trusting that intuition of self. Wow, Aquarius, very interesting. I'm sending you so much love and support for this time frame. It is dynamic, you know, it really is. So I'm sending you much love. For those of you with questions, you can reach me at thealchemyofholism.com. So until the next video or until next month, I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.